I never thought breaking up with her would leave me feeling empty, like a part of me was torn away, but I couldn't even cry, because sitting right next to me was my wife, calm and steady, like nothing had changed. It was the strangest feeling in the world. How could I lose someone I loved so deeply, yet find comfort in someone else's arms at the same time? That night, as the rain drummed softly against the window, my phone buzzed with the final message from her. The girl I thought was my everything. "I'm done. I can't do this anymore." No explanation, no goodbye, just those 6 words that shattered my world. But why didn't I feel the pain I was supposed to? Why was my heart strangely numb? I glanced over, and there she was, my wife, unaware of the storm inside me, smiling softly, her hand resting gently on mine. How did I end up here, torn between 2 lives, 2 loves, 2 versions of myself? And then came the haunting thought that wouldn't leave me alone. Maybe love isn't about holding on. Maybe sometimes it's about letting go, even when it hurts the most. My name is Arman. For years, I thought I had everything figured out. A stable job, a loving girlfriend, and a comfortable life that promised nothing but peace. Her name was Zara. From the moment we met, it felt like the universe had conspired to bring us together. We were inseparable, like 2 puzzle pieces fitting perfectly. Zara was my first real love. She had this infectious laugh that could light up the darkest rooms and eyes that made me believe in forever. We shared dreams of traveling the world, building a home filled with laughter and children's voices. I thought she was the one, the girl I'd grow old with. But life, as it always does, loves to surprise you. Then there was Aisha, my wife. Not just any wife, but the one who came into my life unexpectedly. Unlike Zara, Aisha was calm, steady, and grounded. She didn't sweep me off my feet with fireworks, but with quiet moments. A cup of tea waiting when I was exhausted, a reassuring hand during my worst days. She was the calm in my storm. I never planned for Aisha to become part of my life. We met at a time when Zara and I were already drifting apart, caught in arguments and silent rooms. Aisha wasn't flashy or loud. She was patient and understanding. Slowly, she became my confidant, the person I could talk to without fear of judgment. When I proposed to Aisha, some called me crazy. How could I marry someone while still tangled in memories of Zara? But deep down, I knew Aisha was different. With her, there was no pretense, no endless fights, just a promise of stability. Something I craved but never admitted. Our marriage was simple, without the fairy tale romance I once dreamed of with Zara. But it was real. Real enough to make me question everything I thought love was. And that's the chaos I lived in, caught between a past that refused to let go and a present that offered safety but no passion. Sometimes I'd catch Zara's name slipping from my lips without thinking, and Aisha would just smile, pretending not to notice. Or maybe she did notice and chose silence over confrontation. I wasn't proud of it. Loving 2 people, one with my heart and the other with my life, felt like living a lie. But that's the thing about love. It's messy, complicated, and never black and white. I'm just a man trying to navigate a maze of emotions, mistakes, and truths I'm not sure I'm ready to face. It started with a message, a simple buzz on my phone, but the words it carried hit me harder than any blow ever could. I was sitting on the couch beside Aisha, her head resting softly on my shoulder when my phone lit up. A message from Zara. I hesitated for a moment, heart pounding like a wild drum. Part of me wanted to ignore it, pretend that chapter of my life was closed. But curiosity, or maybe something darker, pushed me to open it. "Can we talk? It's urgent." Urgent! That one word was like a crack in the dam holding back all the confusion and pain. Why now? After all this time? Aisha looked up, her eyes questioning but patient. I lied, told her it was just a work message. But even as I said it, I knew I was stepping into a storm. The next day, I found myself standing outside the cafe we used to frequent, the place where Zara and I had carved out so many memories. She was inside, waiting. When she saw me, her face was pale, eyes full of something I couldn't quite read. Regret? Fear? Or something worse? "I didn't want to drag you into this mess," she said quietly, voice trembling. "But I have no choice." I wanted to ask what mess, but before I could speak, a man appeared beside her. Someone I'd never seen before. His presence felt like a punch to the gut. Zara looked torn, glancing between me and the man. The tension in the air was suffocating. She whispered, "You need to know the truth, Arman. About us. About everything." My mind raced. What truth? What secrets had she been hiding all this time? For the first time, the perfect world I had built, the one with Zara, with Aisha, started to crumble. As I walked away from the cafe that day, a storm brewing inside me, I realized this wasn't just about old love or unfinished business. It was a battle for my soul, and I wasn't sure which side I would choose. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, the words Zara whispered still echoing in my mind. "You need to know the truth." But what truth? And why now? My phone lay on the bedside table, silent but heavy, as if it carried the weight of all my doubts. I couldn't stop replaying the scene at the cafe. Zara standing there with that strange man I didn't know. What did that mean? Was she involved with someone else? Was it something worse? The walls of my quiet room felt like they were closing in, trapping me inside my own thoughts. Should I call her? Demand answers? Or pretend nothing had changed? Keep the fragile peace with Aisha? I turned to Aisha, who was sleeping peacefully beside me. How could I confess this storm raging inside without shattering the calm she brought to my life? My mind was a battlefield. Am I imagining things? Maybe it was all a misunderstanding. Maybe Zara just needed a friend. But then, why the secrecy? Why did she look so scared? I sat up, rubbing my face, heart aching. The truth was, I was terrified. Terrified of losing both of them. Terrified of the unknown. I thought back to the happy moments with Zara, the laughter, the dreams. Could those memories survive this shadow of doubt? I paced the room, muttering to myself, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm just tired. But deep down, I knew the calm before the storm was over. The next day, I found myself avoiding Aisha's questions. "Arman, are you okay? You've been distant lately." Her voice was soft but worried. "I'm fine," I lied, forcing a smile. "Just a lot on my mind." Her eyes searched mine, but I shut her out. That evening, alone in my study, I scrolled through old photos on my phone. Zara's smile, Aisha's comforting embrace. Two women, two worlds. How had I ended up here? Torn between past and present, truth and lies. I whispered to myself, I need to know. I need answers. My phone buzzed again. A message from Zara. "Please, meet me. It's important." I hesitated, fingers trembling. Was this the moment I'd been dreading, or the moment I finally faced the truth? I typed back, "Where?" My heart raced. Love was supposed to be simple, but mine had become a maze. Dark, confusing, and full of questions I wasn't sure I wanted answered. The next evening, I agreed to meet Zara at a quiet park we used to visit years ago. My mind was a mess. Part hope, part dread. I needed answers, but what I got was far worse than I imagined. She was waiting on a bench, her eyes red from crying. As I approached, she stood up, trembling. Before I could say a word, her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, and then, to my horror, her face drained of color. "It's him," she whispered. "The man you saw with me. He's dangerous, Arman. I never told you because I was scared." My heart slammed against my ribs. Dangerous? What do you mean? I asked, voice barely steady. She took a shaky breath. He's been following me, threatening me. I thought I could handle it alone, but now, I don't know. Just then, a shadow moved near the trees. I caught a glimpse of a tall figure watching us from the darkness. I wanted to protect her, but the truth stabbed deeper than any threat. If Zara was hiding this, what else had she kept from me? As if sensing my turmoil, Zara reached for my hand. Arman, I'm sorry for dragging you into this. I never wanted to hurt you or Aisha, but now I have no choice. Her words broke me. The girl I loved was trapped in a nightmare, and somehow I was right in the middle. Before I could respond, my phone rang. It was Aisha. Where are you? You missed dinner. Her voice edged with worry. I looked at Zara, torn between two worlds. Stay with me tonight, she pleaded. And in that moment, everything shattered. I stood frozen in the dim light of the living room, heart pounding like a war drum. Aisha's eyes searched mine, full of confusion and pain. You've been distant, she said softly, voice trembling. And now I know why. I swallowed hard, the weight of everything crashing down on me. I need to be honest, I said, voice barely above a whisper. There's something you don't know, something I should have told you. She shook her head, tears welling up. Is it Zara? The name hit like a knife. Yes, I admitted. Zara came back. She's in trouble. I thought I could help her. I didn't want to lie to you. Aisha's gaze hardened. Help her? Or were you still holding on to the past? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed again. It was a message from Zara. I hesitated but opened it. I can't do this anymore, Arman. I'm sorry. My hands shook. The woman I once loved was giving up, and I was losing everything. Aisha stepped closer, her voice breaking. Why didn't you trust me? We promised honesty. I looked at her, the woman who stood by me through every storm, and felt the crushing guilt. I was scared, I confessed. Scared of losing you, scared of losing myself. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Then, in a voice filled with both anger and heartbreak, she said something I wasn't prepared for. I can't be second place to your past, Arman. If you want her, then go. But don't expect me to wait. Her words shattered the fragile peace I had clung to for so long. I realized then that love isn't just about holding on. Sometimes it's about knowing when to let go. The days that followed were a blur of silence and empty spaces. Zara disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only a note. I need to find myself before I hurt anyone else. Aisha packed her things quietly, leaving a letter on the kitchen table. Her words cut deeper than any argument. I loved you with everything I had, but love isn't enough when trust is broken. I hope one day you find the peace you're looking for. I sat alone in the apartment that once felt like home, surrounded by memories that now felt like ghosts. I thought about the choices I made, the lies, the half-truths, the moments I wished I could rewind. But some mistakes don't come with a reset button. I realized love isn't simple or perfect. It's messy, painful, and sometimes it demands sacrifices we're not ready to make. For the first time, I understood that holding on to the past was just a way of avoiding the future. I made a decision to face my mistakes, to rebuild my life from the ashes. It wouldn't be easy. There would be scars, and maybe even loneliness. But I had to try. One evening, as I walked through the park where everything had begun, I saw a woman sitting on the bench. She looked up, and for a moment, our eyes met. It was not Zara. It was someone new. A stranger with a gentle smile and eyes full of hope. And as I sat down beside her, I felt something I hadn't in a long time, a chance to start over. Because sometimes the end of one story is just the beginning of another.